Hello, class, and welcome to our very first lecture for your Introduction to Deviance class. My name is Savannah Stoneman. You can call me Ms. Stoneman, and I'm going to be your teacher for the rest of the semester because, as many of you know, the burn book accused Ms. Norbury of being a drug pusher, so she's currently being investigated by the FBI. Anyways, let's jump back into our lecture. So just a quick slide on the purpose of this lecture. This is really just to give you guys a basic rundown of what deviance is and some different ways to identify different types of deviance. To start off, I wanted to show you guys this website called postsecret.com. On this website, users are given the choice to anonymously submit postcards that they can decorate however they feel they would like it to be decorated, with different secrets that they can post to that website for other people to read. The only restrictions for your secrets are that it has to be 100% honest and it could not have been told to anyone else before. This site was started on the 1st of January in 2005 with new secrets that got posted every Sunday called Sunday Secrets. And the reason I wanted to share this website with you guys is because a lot of the postcards include examples of deviance. Some of them are a little hard to identify at first, and some of them are very blatant. So we will use a few of these postcards as examples of different types of deviance later on in our lecture. So what exactly is deviance? When you guys think of deviance, what do you think about? Vaping at school? Yes, Max, you and I both know that that is considered deviant. Samantha, you had something? Premarital sex. Well, that one actually depends on who you ask, but that's a great example of something that we'll talk about a little later in the lecture. Devin, yes? Great! Yes, murdering someone is an example of something that would be considered deviant. But what makes these things deviant? Your mom told you it was deviant? Well, Samantha, who told your mom that that was deviant? All right, moving along. And able to fully understand why something is deviant, we first need to understand social norms. So what are social norms? Things that are socially normal. Yes, Corey, thank you. That is in a way correct, but what do we mean by that? What do we mean when we say that? Okay, so when we're discussing social norms in the context of deviance, we're talking about things that are accepted within our society. So, for example, when you go outside, you wear shoes. We keep good hygiene. We don't murder people in cold blood. Breaking any of these violations or breaking any of these social norms is considered deviance. Yes, James? That is a great observation. Not showering would be something that is considered deviant because it's breaking our social norm of keeping with good hygiene. That was a great question to help us understand that deviance can sometimes be something as little as not brushing your teeth, and it can be something as big as murdering someone in cold blood. Now, when it comes to violating our social norms and committing deviance, we must also understand the importance of audiences. So, what are audiences? Yes, Maddie, audiences are people that watch you do something. So, if someone were to commit an act of deviance, but no one saw it happen and nobody is aware that it ever occurred, is that person still considered a deviant person? Well, while they still committed the act of deviance, there was no audience to perceive this or to judge this. And without this audience, how can we tell who or what is deviant? We really can't. Another important bit of information when we're talking about deviance is the idea of relative deviance. So what this means is that deviance is on a scale and things can move up and down on that scale of deviance. So for example, if a person were to identify as part of the LGBTQ plus community, that was once considered something that was deviant by a large majority of our society. but now that's not something that's really considered deviant. Another example on the opposite end of that is smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes used to be extremely common within our society and was done in extremely public places, like on airplanes, and it was not something that was considered deviant whatsoever. But nowadays, if you smoke on an airplane, that is a federal offense, and smoking outside of a designated smoking area can get you into big trouble. Next up, we're going to talk about the ABCs of deviance. And no, I do not mean the alphabet of deviance. The ABCs of deviance is an anagram that's used to help understand what is considered deviant. And as we discussed previously, deviance can be a very wide range of things. So first off, the A in the ABCs stands for attitudes. Attitudes could mean attitudes, thoughts, beliefs that a person has, and these things can be considered deviant. Just because you do not act on these thoughts or beliefs does not render them non-deviant. Like I said previously, we would bring some examples from Post-Secret on here. One of them is this postcard that says, "Sometimes when I'm on the bus, I have an overwhelming urge to kiss the neck of the person in front of me." So while this person only thinks about doing this act and does not actually act upon it, the thought of assaulting someone by kissing their neck without consent is still a type of deviance. The B stands for behaviors. So these are when people act upon those attitudes, thoughts, or beliefs that they have. So some examples from Post-Secret was one that said, "I sexted a guy while in church." And the other said, "I got high for your memorial service. I know you approve." So these are things that were physically done. They were physically texting sexual messages while in church, and this person physically went and smoked some marijuana and then attended a funeral service. So these are things that were acted upon that would be considered deviant by a vast majority of our society, even if the deceased person would have approved of it. And last but not least, the C stands for conditions or characteristics. And this is something that many of you probably didn't know about, but these are physical conditions and or characteristics that violate social norms and are therefore considered to be deviant. So this can include having an amputated limb, needing to use a wheelchair, obesity, or the example from Post-Secret, which is a postcard that reads, "I'm scared my daughter will inherit my anorexia." This would be considered deviant, as anorexia is a physical condition that breaks our social norms of being healthy. Though I will say that being healthy within our society isn't necessarily actually healthy. So this concludes our Introduction to Deviance lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed dipping your toes into deviance as we discuss the website Post-Secret, discuss what deviance is and how social norms and audiences play a large role in deviance and defining what it is, what relative deviance is, and the ABCs of deviance. I will see you all next week.